Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the AJ Plays channel. Now, okay, the name is something I'll talk about later on, but anyways, so we are going to get right into it. As you can see here, we're taking a look at mainly the Eastern Eagles roster because there's been some big news that's pretty much been released. It has to do with Daniel Schultz finally making the move that all of us have been waiting to see. Neal Smith and Clayton Price, longtime Eagles players. Clayton Price is now in his 10th year of MLW. They've officially been moved over to the two-man reserves. Neal Smith's been with the team for, I say, 4 years, maybe 5 now, but this is it. They've both been moved over to the reserves. This is something that every MLW fan, not just Eagles fans, have been crying about for so long, and Daniel finally made the move to do it. Unfortunately, the reason why this move had to happen is just, Neal Smith, unfortunately, his bat was, like, the only positive thing about him was really his bat. Like, he showed a little bit of pitching talent, but he was never really a number 2 arm if necessarily needed. His bat was definitely the one part of him that could make him a better player, and we've seen, like, he had 2 really nice home runs to start the 2021 campaign, but then from there, the rest of his at-bats, he just became invisible, man. He's definitely struggled as the year went on, and it was just a sign that, you know what, the first 2 series, unfortunately, they were a bit of a fluke. You can't define everything off of, like, the opening series, because that can, you know, blind you a little bit. That's just, you know, people working off the rust. That's getting back into it. So you don't know. You can't certainly say, you know, that's what everything's going to look like. As for Clayton Price, you know, Clayton, early on in his MLW career, he was vital. He was a big piece to an Eagles team that really needed some big pieces alongside it. Him and Daniel Schultz essentially grew up together on the Eastern Eagles, and they progressively got older, got more mature. With the help of Ryan Crouch, they ended up winning the championship in 2016, beating the Western Wildcats in the World Series. Clayton Price, you know, he was always like a second pitcher for the team. Over time though, his hitting slowly regressed. His bat started to slowly fade away, and he became less and less impactful when he was batting. He was just more of a liability than he was a legitimate option, a legitimate threat in the lineup. In 2019, Clayton Price suffered a lawn mowing accident where unfortunately he was forced to miss the final, I believe it was the playoffs. He was out for the playoffs because he was lucky enough to play every regular season series before the injury happened, and then from there, he was able to come back in 2020. He had 2 good pitching appearances on the mound where he allowed 0 runs in both appearances. But from there, again, the batting was invisible. Now, like, it wasn't even, you know, him, you know, slowing down his production. No, he had unfortunately become an invisible player with his bat. He was no longer the Clayton Price who at least could get on base and be serviceable. Now, there are a couple other reasons why Daniel Schultz pretty much had to make this move. And one of these is pretty much because there is so much young talent that is coming in on the Eagles roster right now that it makes no sense for Daniel to have these guys all just like laying around here. Fortunately, if he wanted to keep Smith and Price on the main roster, that means that one of probably Allen, Urgaitis, or Walker would be sitting on the sidelines. Unfortunately, that's not what you want to see because all of these guys are young and filled with potential. We need to actually see them play, especially Blade Walker, because he is such a question mark. We saw him for a brief moment last year in like the regular season series against the Great Lakes Gators, and he actually performed pretty okay, I would say. Like, he didn't pitch, but he did have a really solid bat, which was nice. We just need to see more of Blade this year, and I think taking Smith and Price out of the equation, which now means that there will be more reps for guys like Urgaitis, Allen, and Walker to continue to develop. So this move was vital just to open up room for these younger guys to come out and, you know, develop within the Eastern Eagles franchise. Now, again, there's a new era of the Eastern Eagles coming in. In like 2020, when the first MLW draft happened, Eagles did not exactly need to do this kind of thing because they traded for a future pick in 2021, which ended up securing them 2 picks in that draft. And they ended up with Max Tomolka, who unfortunately struggled in that season, so he is out of the league at this point. He is, in my opinion, the first legitimate draft bust in MLW. Now, As I was saying though, this leaves you with just Daniel Schultz, Zach Whalen, Neal Smith, and Clayton Price. And unfortunately, Clayton Price would struggle to, like, he was walking at least, but he was struggling to run. I'm happy that he's healthy. He's back to health. Not full health, but he's back to what he once was, let's say. He's getting there. After 2021, the debate was coming up because we didn't know what was Dan going to do. Was he finally going to give them the boots? Was he going to actually get rid of them for once? Because now he had Dallas Allen and Blade Walker on the roster. Last year, you can only have 5 men on the active roster. So that consisted of, at the start of the season, Daniel Schultz, Zach Whalen, Neal Smith, Clayton Price, and Dallas Allen. Blade Walker was one of the 2 reserves for the team, and he finally got a rep later in the season. Clayton Price and Neal Smith, however, would take up at bats for I believe 4 out of the 5 regular season series without these guys, without Dallas Allen, Blade Walker getting the reps that they needed. I mean, Dallas was there for every series. That was okay. For games like the Oklahoma series, Daniel Schultz snagged you a win because it was him with Zach Whalen, Neal Smith, and Clayton Price. Okay? So, again, there's this new wave of talent that's coming in. The Eastern Eagles have learned. Daniel has finally learned he's got to accommodate for the younger guys because the league has seen so much of Neal Smith and Clayton Price that unfortunately these guys are no longer going to be able to compete in a league that's now bringing in one of the best wiffle ball players in America in Jordan Robles to the Eagles' rival in the Midwest Mallards. Finally, my last point here, Zach Whalen. I wouldn't say that you're on the chopping block, Zach, but I have a legitimate reason to say that you need to figure it out, okay? You're a decent on-base machine, but the thing is with me, you have a fantastic first series all the time, and then you progressively struggle more and more as the season continues. You're not the same hitter that you are after opening day. You need to learn how to be more consistent in a league that needs your consistency, that needs better playmaking, because right now, the Eagles, as much as they have all kinds of depth and talent across the roster, the Eagles need, if they're going to give you reps in this kind of league, in the state that it's in, with superstars such as Jimmy Norp, Kyle Schultz, and the up-and-coming Jordan Robles, who we're already considering a superstar because we've seen his wiffle ball talent outside of MLW. Yes, Zach Whalen, if you're going to be in the lineup, you can't waste an at-bat. You need to either be getting on base or getting a hit. You need to do something. Striking out is not the greatest thing you can do, and I mean it's not that avoidable in MLW, but what I'm saying is you need to perform at your best. I literally posted on my Instagram, I put out a poll asking, do you guys want to see me do a video on the Eastern Eagles, or is this just like too minor of a move? Meanwhile, I got like beyond 10 of you guys just saying yes, just make the video now. So here it is, here's the video that you guys are going to be seeing. As I was saying, you know what? It's the move that Daniel Schultz needed to make. Daniel finally did it. Daniel finally grew a pair, and he was able to move Neal Smith and Clayton Price over to the 2-man reserves. No hard feelings because Clayton and Neal are definitely 2 fantastic guys in real life. They've had their highs in MLW, especially, you know, Clayton Price in the early days, Neal Smith in recent, like whenever he's hit a home run, you know, that's honestly a high for him, but unfortunately, this is the beginning of the end of their wiffle ball career in MLW. So all I'm going to say is that, Daniel, you made the right move. Finally, the inevitable, you no longer put it off. You finally made the move that you needed to make. And I think the Eastern Eagles now are a better team than they were 2 days ago when Blade Walker was injured and Price and Smith were on the active roster. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys all next time. Peace out. Now, also, go Leafs go. I am ready to get hurt again. Go Leafs go. Oh, I am ready to get hurt again.